for this part. So guys, let me just share my screen so you guys remember that. So you may remember that basically with this homework, what we wanted to do was to put in practice the 3 different uses that were discussed here in the grammar focus, reinforced with some additional examples that we were given in this video that I shared yesterday. But at the end of the day, it's essentially the same 3 things. So it's how we use auxiliary verbs to substitute longer forms, to emphasize imperatives, and to add stress or emphasis. And that's a section, in essence, what the groups have presented this morning. That's essentially what we wanted to do. So here, guys, in the exercises 5A, 5B, and 5C, we have that exactly. And that's a series of exercises exploring each one of these cases. So this is how we're gonna conclude this part. I'll give you some minutes, guys, just for you to complete these 3 different exercises. As you can see in the first one, it says, add an auxiliary verb to the sentence to add emphasis. That's one of the uses. Make and then the next one, B, make the exchanges sound more natural by deleting unnecessary parts of the responses. That would be the first case, the first use, which is to substitute for longer forms. And then the third says, replace the underlined sections with an auxiliary plus so. So that's the other use, which is also described here by the end. Okay, so we're gonna have around 10 minutes, guys, just to do this really quick. And then we are going to make some comments, and that is it. We're gonna finish with this topic. Is that okay with you guys?
Okay, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
That's all we are doing. So you guys have 10 minutes and then we'll be back here. So that's recording. Okay, the exercise 5A. We know that we needed to put emphasis on these. So that was it. So who would like to help me with the first one, guys? The number 1. How do you guys do it?
Well, in our go Felipe.
Go.
Okay. Well, we put it like the management did say it is not obligatory for them to inform people about changes, but they have to.
But once again, where is the
The
do in
management
that case?
did say, the management did say, we put the auxiliary did.
Management did say it's not obligatory for them to inform people. That could be one option. That could be one option. I understand. That could be one option. But taking into account that like the 2 different parts of a sentence, they say the management say it's not obligatory for them to inform people about changes, right? So they say that. And remember that one of the functions that we give to the emphatic do is contradictions, right? So in that case, just because of that reason, I would put it right here, but they do. But they do have to. You see, because remember that it's some sort of a contradiction there. You see, I mean, your example it's good. I mean, we could say it, but just when we see the 2 parts of a sentence, the 2 clauses, it becomes obvious that we are like the second part of a clause. The second part of a sentence, the dependent clause, is contradicting the rest of it. It's saying like, but that's not right. So that's why we want to put more emphasis. So the management say something, but it's not like that. You see, that's somehow what you want to say. You wanted to say something? No? Okay.
No, teacher.
There we go. So that's why I believe we should leave it like that. The second one. Who can help me with the second one, guys, please?
Teacher, that one was, I don't know, confusing. We don't really know how to put the emphasis, but we did it in it's a really interesting website. Do go and have a look at
That's it. That's right. That's exactly how it goes. Yes.
Okay.
Do go and have a look at
it. We're confused about it.
Yeah, remember that's actually one of the uses, and it's the use of do to emphasize imperatives. You can use it at the beginning of the imperatives always. You see, but of course you need to be careful with the context because it's very strong. So depending on the context, it might sound a little bit sarcastic or something, and you may want to avoid that. But in this case, it's just like that. It's perfect. Thank you, Diego. Number 3, guys, they look after you well in your company. Who's gonna help me with that one? Who's gonna help me with the number 3, guys? Come on, you can do this. You can just talk spontaneously, just like that, or raise your hands. Yes, who
We
was that?
believe is they do look after you well in your company.
Would you please repeat it? I'm sorry, Valeria.
They do look after you in your in your company.
Very good. They do look after you well in your company. Perfect, guys. So these are the answers to these 3 different exercises. As you see, the use of do in the 3 cases is optional, but when we put the auxiliary form there, the sentences become way more emphatic and stronger. So that's essentially how it goes. Great, guys. So for B, let me see, for B, what we needed to do is basically delete parts of a sentences and make them shorter. So this is the other use. This is not for emphasis, but for making sentences shorter. That's essentially what we do. So who's gonna help me with the first one, with the number A? With the number 1, I'm sorry. Okay, I think it's time for choosing people randomly, so you guys feel a little bit more motivated. So I like to listen to, let me see, I like to listen to, let me see, Dylan, if that's okay with you. Dylan Pais, would you please help me with that one, with the number 1? Number 1, guys. Dylan, not here. Okay, so I've gotten a sticker for this, but I will share that later. Yes, Valeria.
May I, teacher?
Absolutely, yes, please.
Okay, so I believe is I am going, and we delayed it to the meeting.
That's an option. If you say, why aren't you going to the meeting? I am going. That's good. That it's good. Let me see if I've got another option. Let me see. I've got a doubt there. Why are you going to the meeting? No, you can say I am going, or you could actually even say just I am. That's also enough. We would have those 2 options. Why are you going to the meeting? I am. That's enough. Or I am going. You see, both options would be good. We could just leave it like that. Give me a second. I would underline that. So we can leave it just like this. Just this part would be enough, but you could also say just I am, and that would be also good. Thank you very much, Valeria.
Teacher,
Yes, Felipe.
we delayed the part of the meeting, so I'm going to. It is possible.
I'm going to. Why aren't you going to the meeting? I am going to. It's also possible, actually. That's right. I am going to. Well, let me think. If I say that, I am going to. I don't know. People would, of course, understand, but it sounds a little bit weird because of pronunciation, it might be a little bit confused with like I'm going also. Like I'm going to with a double O. So the other person would go like, what do you mean? Who else is coming? You see? So I would say that the 2 best options here are I am going or just I am. And actually remember that in English, we always tend to make language very economical. So we would always prefer to use the least number of words. So actually the best option would be I am, just because it's the shortest. So the less words we use, the better. So in that case, I would say that the best option is I am, just like that. There you go. That was a good question. Thank you. So let's try to continue. Let's see if there is anybody who can help me with that. We're gonna continue with the number 2, and I'd like Angie Rodriguez to help me with that one, the number 2, if that's okay with you.
And the number 2 is yes, I think they have been meeting regularly.
So have the team leaders being meeting regularly? No, I think it's just, yes, I think they have. That's enough. Yes, I think they have. Okay, that would be enough. You don't need to include the rest of it. Just with, yes, I think they have, it's enough. Okay, yes, I think they have. That is enough. So that would be the right answer, but thank you, Angie. So number 3, I would like Ashley to help us with that one. Ashley, please, number 3.
Okay, in that we put like number 3, an explanatory research department.
Number 3.
Sorry.
Right here.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Sure, they were dissatisfied with the goods.
And what would be the answer?
Can I?
Okay, Nicole, please.
Yes, we're pretty sure.
They were. Okay, so it should be, yes, we're pretty sure they were. That's exactly how it goes. So if you ask me, okay, how do we know where to cut the sentence and what would be enough? Basically, once again, if you remember the topic of phrases, that's going to be it. So as you can see, guys, in these cases, look, in the 3 cases, I am going, I think they have been, we're pretty sure they were satisfied. We've got, in the 3 cases, we have verb phrases, which means, remember that phrases are groups of related words. So in I am going, am and going are one phrase. So there are 2 words together, they make one action. Here, have been, that's another phrase, have been, you see? And here, we're satisfied, those are verb phrases. So how do we know where to cut? We just delete the second part of the verb phrase. So we just stick to the main verb of the phrase, you see? So I am going, what is the main verb? Am, which is the conjugated form, the conjugated verb. So we just stick to it. So we don't say we don't need necessarily to say I am going, it's just I am, because am is the main verb. I think they have been meeting is just, actually look at that. The phrase is 3 words, have been meeting, but we just stick to the conjugated one, which is the main one. So yes, I think they have. That's it. And then the last one, we're satisfied. That's the phrase, 2 different words. We just stick to the first. Yes, we're pretty sure they were, you see? So that's how we know where to cut the sentence. We just cut the sentence right when we identify the main verb of the phrase in these cases, okay? I think you had a question, Felipe?
Teacher, well, the problem is that as the question is with where the customer, so we are saying that the customer, so we put it like we could, yes, no, we could like we are pretty sure, and we answer like yes, they were. Is not possible, like to answer with.
Were the customers satisfied with it goes? Oh yeah, that's another alternative. Of course. That would be a whole different sentence because we would delete it more, but that's good as well. Of course, you can say, yes, they were. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. But you see, once again, if you say, yes, they were, you are sticking to the main verb, and that is the point. You see, you don't need the second part of a phrase, which is satisfied. You don't need that. Just where is exactly where we need to cut the sentence. So that's also a good example. Thank you for noting that, Felipe. So the last one, guys, in C, we needed to replace the underlined sections with the auxiliary plus so. That is essentially how it worked. So give me a second as I check that here as well. Oh my God, it's a little bit too disorganized. Give me a second. Oh, please wait a minute. Come on, what's wrong with this? Oh, what happened? Sorry, guys, give me a second. I'm having some technical issues right here, but I'm almost there. Okay, guys, so let's see. So in the case of 1, who can help me with the number 1?
May I?
Let's please, Diego. Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
I think that we replace it for no, but we plan to do so next week.
No, but we plan to do so next week. So no, but we plan to check the results of this experiment next week. It becomes no, but we plan to do so next week. That is perfect. That's exactly how that works. No, but we plan to do so. That's it. So we plan to do so. That's it. That's exactly how it goes. Great. Number 2, guys.
I think is Carlos got very angry and told me to leave. I do so as quickly as I could.
I did. I do.
I did. I did so.
There we go. I did so. I did so as quickly as I could. You see, I did so. I'm trying to think about, you know, the equivalent of a Spanish to this kind of a structure, so we can understand that a little bit better. Let's do the exercise 3 as I think about it. Who's gonna do that one, guys? Number 3.
Me, teacher.
Please, Ana Maria. Yep.
Okay, the company needed to expand the research department, and it did so last year.
And it did so. And it did so right here. And it did so last year. I'm thinking about how we would say that in Spanish, like what would be the equivalent? Because it sounds so different. I mean, that we don't have another structure.
Well, teacher, in that
Hmm.
case, okay,
Yes,
Diego.
Felipe?
Oh, Diego.
No, go Felipe.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think that, well, did is explaining like the action, and so like the object, like so is referring to the, like in general, the
Yeah, yes,
subject that has-
that's right. That's right. Because when I'm thinking about that in Spanish, that would be more or less how that we could get there. Look, for instance, the last one, the company needed to expand the research department. La compañía necesitaba expandir, perdón, el departamento de investigaciones, and it did so last year. Y lo hizo. This is exactly what Felipe says. So this so is the equivalent of el lo or la that we have in Spanish, and that refers to the actual action. So the observation of Felipe is absolutely right. So refers to the object specifically, their direct object of the action, and it refers to the action itself. So if we wanted to translate this did so or do so structure, it would be the equivalent of lo hizo, lo hace, lo hago. That would be the most similar in Spanish if we are asked about this. Okay, guys, so I think that is it about this topic. I think what we are trying to do here, and of course, I mean, there is this grammar reference, and there are some notes regarding pronunciation and everything, but that's would somehow say additional. What we are also trying to do here is to get deeper into this idea on how choosing words and choosing intonation makes a huge difference when regarding the language. I've been working on a lesson for tomorrow that hopefully you guys will find very useful, and that's something we are going to with that lesson. We're going to focus a lot on words, specifically on words. There is something that we sometimes ignore, and that's that new words are created every day, you see, and they are created every day because of so many reasons. In some cases, it has to do with the fact that you know, technology and the way people communicate online, you know, it has a very serious impact regarding the words and regarding the structures that we use. So we tend to use that with all the you know, the influence of memes and all this communication we see on networks, on social networks. we've been experiencing a very interesting phenomenon, which is how we also are modeling the way we speak and the way we express regarding the way, regarding the conventions we have online. So this is, that line that divides online communication and face-to-face communication becomes very, very thin. And we use expressions in both sides. But what we're going to do tomorrow is going to basically to reflect on that, on how new words are created. We're going to explore literally new words in English which are new, and we are going to explore some resources that we can use to see that. And that's going to help us make a very important connection on why William Shakespeare is important for the language, since he's been credited for creating a very important number of words in English. So we are going to understand that. And I would somehow say that William Shakespeare is a very good example of that, on the power of words and the creativity behind. They said, William Shakespeare is credited for supposedly have created at least 2,000 words for the English language, and that's something that still happens today. So that's part of what we're going to explore tomorrow, and let's see what happens. Okay, guys, so if that's okay with you guys, I'm going to call the attendance in this moment. Let me see.